let's get into a little bit about what it is you kind of do and your background a little bit. I was checking out your page a little bit. Seems like you're involved in the racing scene pretty extensively, and you're the host of a couple podcasts. Is that right?
Correct.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Basically, right now I'm the myself and my partner Warren Brosell. We work together at Dale and Art Incorporated. We've been friends for 22 years. We figured 23 now. We said, hey man, everyone's doing a podcast. Let's start one. So I said, all right, well, we were trying to think of a name and we wanted to be like, beer and racing related. And the Barstool thing was kind of taken up, so we don't want to infringe on that. So we were actually sitting at a bar on a Saturday afternoon. There's like 8 racing people there. We're all talking about racing. I look over, and I kid you not, I looked over and I went, and it hit me like one of those, what's 10 feet from every bar? A pub table. So the name Pub Table Racers came about. So that's how it came about. We put it together. And so we started that March of last year. Okay. And it's kind of taken off. And, now we have a website, pubtableracers.com. We have merchandise. And we each Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on Facebook Live, we have a different guest on. And we try to focus on people that, aren't always in the news. So we have crew chiefs, car chiefs, tire changers. The other night we had a husband and wife team. He's a crew chief at Wickware Racing. She's pit support. They've been together 10 years and just things like that. And then from that, people are like, hey, we want shirts, we want hats. So we started merchandise.
Heck yeah.
And people started behind that. We're like, what the hell's going on here? So that led to me getting involved with Speed Sport, NASCAR Digital Media. The show I do there is called How I Got Here. And it's basically people in the sport, everyone but drivers, telling their story, how they came from Buffalo, Connecticut, Arizona, wherever, how they came to be in the sport of NASCAR. And that's on Speed Sport, NASCAR Digital Media, podcast networks. And the newest one is called The Garage Shop. The Garage Shop on YouTube, primarily where you see that, there's a Facebook page too. And what we do there, well, they do, I'm not allowed to touch the cars. They have built a Dodge Daytona number 71 Bobby Isaac replica from the ground up. It's the old look with the modern technology. Then they turn around and said, well, hell, the Aero Wars of the 69-70 was the Dodge Daytona versus the Ford Talladega. So they said, well, we got to build a Ford Talladega. So they built a Ford Talladega. They're also building a Streamliner to go to Bonneville Salt Flats. And they have a Cup car that's all designed to go to Bonneville and Blytheville, Arkansas, and do land speed records. Involved with that right now, they're refurbishing Danny Sullivan's 1984 Brickyard called the Corporate Car. And it was raced one time by Danny Sullivan at Indy, and it was a bunch of sponsors from Indy that all jumped on board. And he raced it one time.
No kidding.
And it was hidden away somewhere in North Carolina. They got their hands on it. Now it's back in the shop being refurbished.
Huh.
So it's kind of cool.
That is cool, man. Yeah. Now that Daytona, is that the one that's in your picture?
Yes.
Cover photo. Man, that's a beautiful car.
It's an amazing, and I can't tell you how many people have been like, whoa, I remember that from, and cool car. And we took it to Blytheville, Arkansas, and it went 226 miles an hour.
No kidding.
1.25 miles. And the Talladega went 225.
No kidding.
So in August, we're taking them to Bonneville, and we're going to see what we can do there.
That'll be cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so people are following along on YouTube. And, TikTok, it's a Garage Shop NC. Pub Table Racer is also on TikTok. So, I'm 56 years old, but you know what? I'm learning this social media stuff because you got to be one of the cool kids now. Otherwise, you're done.
Yeah, man, you got to go where everybody's at, Yeah. So have you done any racing yourself then? Have you climbed in the cab of cars?
Yeah, I tried. So I grew up in a racing family in Buffalo. It was my uncle was a starter at every track in Western New York. He's in the Fourscore Hall of Fame up there. My dad raced, my stepfather raced. So I grew up at the racetrack, and Kenneth, it was 28 years old before I decided I can make a living at this, I bet, because, I was doing announcing and writing and things like that. So I took myself back to college with one intention, to get involved in NASCAR. And my professors at Buffalo State were like, you got to think of something else. You have a backup plan. So when I published my first book with Bobby Allison, I found my professor and I signed a copy and sent it to him. I said, I'm still working on that backup plan. Thanks for everything you taught me, type of thing.
Right.
So then I started announcing at Lancaster Speedway in Buffalo, then at Wyoming County, and then Ransomville. So I was keeping busy with that. I was an airborne traffic reporter during the week. So I was constantly running my mouth. So it was good. And yeah, so then in 2000, I got a job at NASCAR.com, and I moved down here. And from NASCAR.com, I went to Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. When they started their website, they never had one. And then from there, MRN Radio and Richard Childress Racing, and then a couple teams that have closed down, and back to Childress. And then in 2015, I think it was, Lancaster Speedway in Buffalo called and said, hey, or we had the ownership group said, hey, we're getting rid of the general manager. A lot of people think we should give you a call, see if you want to come up and talk to us about it. So I went up and I said, you know what? If I don't do this now, I'll never know. So I went up and became the president of Lancaster Speedway and Dragway, and it was a 3-year contract. And within years, we turned things around. We got things going. We, brought in a lot of big events, made a lot of improvements. And I say that my name's on the plaque, but I say we won short track promoter of the year 2 times. And so after that, I went to another place that didn't quite work out. And then I moved back to Mooresville, and that was in January of 2019. And we all know what happened in March. COVID-19 hit, and sport blew up. So I had to reinvent myself. So I said, well, what are the 2 things you love? And I said, writing and talking about racing. That's how it went.
Heck yeah, man. That sounds freaking awesome, dude. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I've loved racing ever since I was a little kid,
Okay, wait, how old are you first?
I am 30 years old.
Really?
I was born in 1991. Yep.
All right.
So I know, just a young buck.
That's all right. That's okay. It's good. Hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, man. But I've been into racing since I was a little kid, and there was a point in my life when I wanted to be a race car driver.
We all do.
For sure, man. And I specifically remember being a little kid, and I'd go visit my grandma and grandpa, and my grandpa was a huge Jeff Gordon fan. That's his blanket hanging behind me on the wall there. And we would watch races on Sunday afternoons, and I was just like, man, that's what I want to do.
Right.
And from my house, there's a dirt racetrack about maybe 10 miles from where I grew up.
Which one?
Raceway 7 in Conneaut, Ohio.
Okay.
And you know where it's at?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was like 10 miles from my house. And I remember laying in bed on Friday nights, man, and I could just hear the cars going around the track. I could hear them starting up, and I loved it, dude. I loved it. We were over there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But never got into the driver's seat. That never happened, unfortunately. But
yeah. Good.
I love it, dude. I love the whole racing scene.
I tried it 3 times. Twice on asphalt, once on dirt. And I quickly realized that to be the announcer, paid $100 a night, and I got free beer for the features. And if you wrecked the car, it costs a lot of money to fix it.
Yeah.
Which I did. On my 35th birthday, I wadded up some guy's car that I borrowed, and it took my stag party money to pay him back.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Was it worth it though? Was it fun?
Sure.
Oh,
yeah, I got a mild concussion out of the deal and a heavy bill. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to stick to the writing and writing and running my mouth. I decided those were the 2 best ways to go.
Right.
So,
oh man, I tell you what, I'm a Dale Jr. kind of guy myself, and I think he won the Daytona 500 in 2004. I think it was.
Yep, I was part of that one when I worked at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated.
Well, were you?
Yeah. So I worked there for 4 years with him, and it was Michael Waltrip, Steve Park. I was Martin Truex's first real PR person for his Busch Series championships, then nationwide.
So have you met Dale Jr.?
Oh yeah. I worked there for 4 years.
No kidding.
Yeah, you had to.
That's crazy, man. That is so cool.
Hang on, keep talking. I got something right here. I'll show you. Keep going. Hang on.
You're gonna bust out a picture with. Oh man.
I know I would have grabbed these ahead of time. All right, so you got this one?
Wow. Is that
Okay, so that's a July race, Xfinity race, or whatever you want to call it. We sweat from the minute we got there to the minute we left. It was so hot. He won that by, I don't know, 10 seconds. He stunk up the show. So this is from 2004.
no kidding?
Yeah. So the funny thing about this picture is you see this guy right here?
Yeah.
That's Denny Hamlin.
No kidding. Wow.
Denny Hamlin was down there on a paper pass, a single event license. And that picture hung on my wall, Kenneth, for years before someone came over and said, "What's Denny Hamlin doing in the picture? What are you talking about?" I went over and looked and I go, "Holy crap, it's Denny Hamlin." Yeah.
No kidding.
I always threaten to show it to him every time I see him. Like, next time I'll bring you a copy of that picture. I'm going to show it to you. He goes, "I remember that. I was down there on a paper pass. No one knew who I was." I go, "Now look at you. You have 3 of them." So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
That was cool. But yeah, Dale Jr., there's been a huge change in him from, it was right after he lost his dad. So we had all his dad's fans. So they were like, "Hey, man, you're our guy." And I don't say the pressure, but the pressure to perform. But he's like, "I'm not my dad. I'm not," he's trying to be himself.
Right.
And now he's certainly his own self with the ownership and the broadcasting and going in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see all the stuff he's doing.
That is cool, man. That is cool. And that's super neat that you've gotten to meet all these drivers too.
Right.
I was watching your YouTube video with Darrell Waltrip. Yeah, dude, that was cool, man. That was
on the Garage Shop. Yep.
Yeah, that was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, we went to him in Franklin, Tennessee at his dealership. And, I still get these moments, Kenneth, where the little kid from Buffalo comes out at me. And in the middle of the interview, I'm sitting there talking with him like, wow, this is a big cry from, the short tracks of, up in Western New York to sitting here, me and Darrell Waltrip. And it was just kind of cool to, talk to him and again, the stuff that he talked about. But, yeah, we also on there, we had Bobby Allison, Donnie Allison. We just had Johnny Benson on. Yeah, I've been some cool different guests we've had on.
So do you have a favorite race car driver that you, or are you
all time would be Bobby Allison. He was our family hero growing up. And then I moved down to here in Mooresville and I got to know him and we wrote a book together in 2003 called Bobby Allison, Racer's Racer. And from there, it started doing appearances and handling me and events for him. And we did a lot of travel together. I still have lunch or dinner with him once a week.
No kidding.
And like the joke is I wrote a book with him in 2003 and I just never went away.
That's funny. Yeah. So do you go down into, do you have like free reign then pretty much of like the entire track? You can go down into the pit stops. You can
right. If I get a hot pass, I can. But last year nobody was allowed to go.
Right.
And then because I can use a media credential for Pub Table Racers. But when you went, they kept you in the media center and they just zoomed in everybody they want to talk to. So I'm like, why go spend the money to go to the track and just be locked in the media center? And so like if I get a hot pass for Nashville, then yeah, I can go, through the garage area and everything. It's good to go back and see a bunch of people,
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, if you can, definitely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's it. So it's good, but like when you're working in the sport, I never ever said I had to go to work. I always got to go to work. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you get out of it, you start to miss it.
Yeah, it's more of like a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh, I think I lost your video there.
No, wait. Hang on.
There you are.
Here we are. Someone tried to call me.
Oh, that's okay.
I declined them.
Hey, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's just a sponsor. Don't worry about it. I'll call him back.
Oh man, I tell you what, I don't have like a list of questions here for you.
Go ahead.
I don't. I just kind of fire from the hip.
Never do I.
So if you have a certain topic that we kind of missed or you kind of want to get into for media purposes on your end, you know what I mean? I'd love to hear about those. I'd love to hear more about your book if you would like, or more about your podcast.
Okay. So let me do the podcast first. So Pub Table Racers is on every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. via Facebook Live. and then we take it, we put it on our YouTube channel, Pub Table Racers, and then we also have the TikTok, Pub Table Racers, noticing a trend. It's called branding.
Yeah.
And so that one's been going on for a year. And then the Garage Shop, every Monday night at 7, a new episode comes out. We got some really cool things going on. And then How I Got Here is on Speed Sport and NASCAR Digital Media Podcast Networks. And a new one drops every Tuesday morning. So check those out.
Is that something that's on like Spotify as well?
Yep, Spotify, all those, yeah.
Anywhere.
Sorry,
I
always forget about those, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to look at our ugly faces, just go to the audio platform. Google, Spotify, Apple, all in there. Breaker. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I'll do that.
Oh yeah, they're out there.
Heck yeah. Do you go to drag racing at all? Like the big drag
I have been to multiple drag races when
you've done it.
I worked at Lancaster Speedway. We had a dragway as well.
Okay.
So I got to know through NASCAR, and we go to some drag racing events. Guys like John Force, he came to Lancaster and raced, and exhibition racing, and the other guys that you get to know. Oh, I got to know a lot of them when Jeff Bodine put together the NASCAR versus drag drivers bobsled challenge up in Lake Placid. So I went up there and I was the reporter that stood at the top of the run in 15 degrees on the snow and ice, and did the interview before they got in the sled and went down. Yeah.
Oh no!
So that was pretty cool. So I got to know a lot of guys that way. But yeah, I've been to them. I love the Top Fuel. I love the funny car. The Pro Stocks are pretty cool. It's pretty amazing what those guys do in such a short amount of time.
No doubt.
Yeah.
There's one locally by me. I think it's called Thompson Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting to go there and check that out.
Yeah, I recommend it if you go for like Saturday or go see the qualifiers, and the finals are on Sunday. But the thing I like about the NHRA, every ticket's a pit pass, so everybody's allowed to go in the pits. So really? That's where you make that connection with the drivers, and that's the one thing that NASCAR has been pretty good at, but they could do a little better. This is just my personal. I've worked with drivers and seen drivers who would do everything they could to avoid running into fans, and I would kindly remind them that those are the people buying your hats and T-shirts and supporting your sponsors. But they ask dumb questions and they want autographs and pictures. I go, what's part of the deal?
That is part of it, man.
Bobby Ellison said, every request for an autograph is a compliment. Go with the compliment.
Absolutely, man. When you're famous and you're in that kind of position, you're right. The fans are, what's paying the bill.
And always remember, there's a little kid watching you too.
For sure.
Yep, I can name off every autograph of every Buffalo Bill and Buffalo Sabre I got. I can tell you exactly where it was, how it was, and how I got the autograph.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
But now with cell phones, I don't care about the autographs. I just like the pictures. I collect pictures and put them all together on a wall and everything. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I love that. Those pictures that you have are fascinating too, man.
Well, there's just a couple of them, but yeah. I just happen to pull them out. I just moved into this place. As you can tell, my bare walls. But when you mentioned, I'm like, oh, they're sitting right there. So that's fine.
Where are you located at? Are you
Mooresville? Yeah.
Is that
Mooresville where it's at? Mooresville's like home for me now.
Okay.
When people say I go home to, I'm from Buffalo, but still a big Bills fan. But Mooresville is where I consider home.
Where's Mooresville? I'm not.
Mooresville's north of Charlotte.
Okay, North Carolina.
They call it Race City, USA. It's where
okay
you can swing a dead cat and hit somebody in racing everywhere you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I live up here in Pennsylvania, and I don't know, man. There's some racetracks around here, but I think now I don't know what the closest NASCAR track would be.
What part of Pennsylvania?
Erie.
Oh, Pocono. Watkins Glen's like 3 miles away, or 3 hours away for you.
Okay, Watkins Glen. I know that. I've been there. I was there when I was 14.
Yeah. So Mid Ohio, the road course. Okay. Yeah, Erie. I know Erie well.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's a decent place, I suppose.
Sure.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Well, every time I drive down, I have to go through Erie down 990 to catch 79 to head south. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So what I guess so you're 30. Let me ask you something. Because there's been this gap. So when I first started the sport, let's say mid '90s to mid 2000s, we could do nothing wrong in NASCAR. We were full stands. You get to the track early, it took forever to leave because of traffic, and then it's dwindled. So people, and there's 26 years between you and I. What is it, the people that what is it they like about it? What do you think they like to see changed?
In the racing sport itself?
Yeah, let's use the NASCAR. Yeah.
That's a good question. My generation, what would they like to kind of see change in the sport? Is that
right?
The question you're asking me?
What changes would they like to see? Yeah. I mean, you have people you talk to, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I have a couple friends that are really into NASCAR as well. And I know they were pretty excited about the race and I didn't get to watch it, but there was a race, I think a few weeks ago. It was the first time they've raced. Was it on a dirt track? They raced.
Yeah, Bristol.
Yeah, the Bristol. They were excited about that, man. And
that's good.
See that kind of go back to something that hasn't been done in 50 years or whatever it was.
I was there. It was pretty cool.
Was it? I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I heard it was pretty cool.
Right.
But
it was unique. I give them credit for doing that, and I give credit to Bristol because they put down that dirt and they used it for a month and a half for all kinds of different racing. So I thought that was they made something out of it. They didn't just do it for one race. They did it for a month and a half.
Right. Yeah. They have like dirt. They probably had like Crash Rama or something on there.
No, they didn't do anything like they can't do that.
No. Yeah. They'll get those going up here at the Raceway 7. They'll have, derbies going on out there and all kinds of crazy stuff. A lot of people take their personal vehicles out there. I tell you what, I kind of wanted to get into like the mini stock series. That would be
good place to start.
I've always thought that would be super fun to get into. Buy just like a little Dodge Neon or something and turn it into a race car again.
Yeah.
There's
that's the best way to get started. Because one, the investment, and you'll find out if you're any good or not. I mean, a video game is great.
Right.
Once you get out there, until you actually get your ass spun out and hit the wall and experience those emotions in the car and what it feels like, that's a whole different story.
I'm still young enough. I might do it, man. I might pick up a little beater car somewhere around town.
Best way to do it. Yeah.
And that'd be cool.
So here's something for you. People always say, hey, how do you get into racing? What we just talked about is the best way. Wherever you are, go to your local track, help out on a crew, figure out something you really like to do: tires, suspension, shocks, engines. Learn all you can. If you really like it and you're really good at it, then from there you can progress up, to other bigger teams, and then just start networking with people that you might know in the other levels. Because everybody who got into the sport, no one just walked in and said, hey, I want to be in NASCAR. They did something on the lower levels to begin their progress to come here.
Right.
That's the best way. Even if it's like writing, announcing, track maintenance, marketing, that's all start at the local level. See if you like it.
That was the thing. Like, I always thought you have to pretty much, be driving since you were like 5 years old.
As a driver, maybe, but yeah.
But to be involved in the sport, like you said, just put it in the door. The next thing you know, you're Ricky Bobby going around, winning all the races.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, in that NASCAR garage area every weekend, there are hundreds of former track champions at local levels that didn't get to progress up. One that comes to mind, Rodney Childers, Harvick's crew chief. I mean, he was this close to becoming a truck series driver, but someone else got it. So he said, well, I'm going to take all my knowledge. And from there, he's became a championship crew chief and a winning crew chief. Okay. So there's all those guys all spread out through the sport that were, hot shoes with their local track, but it just didn't work out. So they took their knowledge and they put it to use in another way to work their way into the NASCAR levels.
That's great. And those are the people that you get on your show.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Very good. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, because there's hundreds of them with stories like that.
Right.
So I said there's 52 weeks in the year, so I figured it's 300. We're good for 3-4 years.
For sure.
Never know how to guess.
That's awesome. I don't really have any other questions for you, man.
Okay, that's fine.
But this was a lot of fun, dude. I
appreciate it.
I really enjoyed it.
No, I like it, and thanks for having me on. And I appreciate it. And I just remind people, check out the the YouTube pages, Facebook pages, and take a look. If you like it, join in. You know, and it is the Tuesday night. We put a bucket of beer in front of us, and we drink Miller High Life in honor of Bobby Allison. We just talk racing and have a lot of fun doing it.
Hell yeah, man! Sounds like a good time.
People go, you guys are a lot of fun. I go, yeah, that's kind of what it's supposed to be about.
That's all it's about, man. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right, man.
Well, I appreciate it, Kenneth.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You have a good rest of your afternoon.
You too. Thanks, man.
Yep, I'll talk to you soon.
Continued success with what you're doing. I like to see that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Keep it up. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.